Welcome to the first Behind the Scenes with a Preneur. My name is Sarah Belmonte, and I'm the founder of Moms Out Marketing. Mom is about creating community centered on learning to be better entrepreneurs and moms. Every month, we have networking topics and bring in seasoned entrepreneurs to help us be the best version of ourselves. Hi, Sarah Belmonte here. I'm so excited you joined us. Moms is all about community and giving you resources to be a better version of yourself. So today we have an amazing speaker, but I'm not going to tell you just yet who she is, though you may have seen it in the ads and everything like that. First, I want you to tell me if you are on the live or you're on the replay, okay? And definitely interact with us throughout this entire interview, because any questions you have, you can ask them live and be featured right here on our platform. So, all right. So the moment you've all been waiting for, right? So we have TEDx speaker, relationship coach, TV host personality, podcaster. Oh my gosh, the list goes on, and we'll be hearing so much more about her, not just today, but also in our October networking meetings. So be sure that you are staying on this live all the way to the end, because you're going to hear about mom perks, you're going to hear about 2021 happenings, and you are also going to get some sneak peeks of some of the things we're going to be talking about all through October. So let's welcome Leslie O'Hare. Leslie! There you are. We can hear you now.
How are you?
Oh, I'm so great. You're here with us.
I'm excited to be here with you and your guests. This is an amazing opportunity. Thank you for having me.
Oh, I'm so excited to have you. Like I said, it's so important that we understand the journey of entrepreneurship. I think some people think you wake up and you have this great idea and then it just happens. Well, that's not always the case. And we met with Gina Lopez, and I'm so happy. So shout out to Gina. If you're on this call, I'd love to hear from you. Thank you for this introduction. But when we met, we were talking about community. We were talking about adversity. I was actually giving a talk about adversity. And so I think that's where we really clicked, because then I learned about your book and your speaking career and your journal.
Yes, exactly.
And just some of your journey. And I said, you know what? I have to share this with my mom tribe. So we are going to talk a little bit about behind the scenes of how you got to where you are. We're going to talk about how you became a business owner. And then we're going to talk about some of your practices that you do so that you can succeed. All right. And if anybody else has any other ideas, please comment in the live, because we want to hear from you. All
Fantastic.
Right. Leslie, first, yes, it's all about you. Tell me everything you do.
Oh my goodness. Do we have enough time? That's going to be like a 30-day plus show.
Yes, I know. You do so much. That's why it's so exciting, and I love it. And you do it just with this glow. I love it.
Well, thank you. My company is Leslie O'Hare Media, and basically under that umbrella, I am, as you mentioned, I'm a TED Talk speaker. So I do a lot of speaking. I speak in corporations. I also speak in churches. And also under that umbrella, I've been a television talk show host for many years. I started out in New York City with my own talk show. And then when I moved to Dallas about 17 years ago now, for about 3.5 years, I had my own talk show, The Leslie O'Hare Show, on an ABC affiliate station. And so we do a lot under the Leslie O'Hare umbrella as a relationship coach. That's under the umbrella. And as you alluded to a few moments ago, I'm also now starting my brand new podcast, which is called Let's Connect with Leslie O'Hare. So I don't get much sleep. I don't know what that is. But, I have to tell you, being an entrepreneur, it is very hard. It's very taxing. It takes a lot of work. a lot of discipline and commitment, but there's nothing like working in your passion. There's nothing like knowing your purpose. And when you work in your passion and you know your purpose, you don't feel like you're losing any sleep. You wake up every day energized, even on your bad days, because you remember what you're doing. You remember your why.
Absolutely. And it's so true. That passion can fuel us and take us so far. So,
It can.
yes. Now, I want to know about you as a little girl. Did you know you would be an entrepreneur? How did you even get into your field?
Well, from the age of 5, I was in beauty pageants, probably from 5 up until about 21, 22. So I was in beauty pageants and fashion shows, social etiquette classes, and those types of experiences really allowed me to know at the age of 5, I always wanted to be a motivational speaker. I always wanted to be a television talk show host and entrepreneur. And I do encourage parents to allow their daughters to get into beauty pageants. I know we have a negative stigma there, but beauty pageants have helped me to be a better interviewer, a better interviewee. It really enhanced my self-esteem. And so I owe a lot of that experience in the direction of my life today. And one of the other things I like to touch upon, one of the last beauty pageants I was in New York City. I ran for Miss New York USA. Had I had won the pageant, I would have been on the televised Miss USA beauty pageant. And so I knew at such a young age and going through those various experiences and competing, it really taught me a lot about myself, and it really instilled the work ethic that I have today. And I always knew that I would own my own business. I always knew I would be a television host. And I really owe that to my experiences from a young child into my 20s.
Awesome. That's great. And it's amazing to know that so early on. So I'm sure that that's helped form you.
It has helped form me a lot. And one thing that I did, I held on to those dreams. Now, when we can get into this later on, life has not been easy for me at all. But one thing I did do, because I believe in God and I believe in my faith, I never let go of those dreams from that young age.
Yeah, that's so important. And
Yeah.
for anybody out there, and I'm always a big proponent of like teen entrepreneurs or kidpreneurs, if you have an idea, if you have a dream, go for it. Because you know what? Every entrepreneur, it started from one seed, one wild idea that everybody, said no to. So really, I love that. I love what you're saying. Just go with the passion, no matter what.
Absolutely. And don't give up. Never give up.
Yep. All right. So thank you, Sarah. That was a question from Sarah. So also, I was wondering, as you were going through this journey, I know you shared that you knew you wanted to be an entrepreneur, but was the thing most significant that happened throughout this journey that really pivoted you to become an entrepreneur?
I
Like,
have all, oh, go ahead. I'm sorry. No, go ahead. Were you saying something, Sarah? So, one of the things that I've always been very passionate about is motivating women and girls. And I knew that that was one of my platforms that I needed to venture out into even as a young girl. And so as I was growing and knowing more about myself and really connecting with girls and women throughout my life, I began to realize there was a huge need for girls and women to be motivated, to value their self-worth and to know who they are. I do think as girls, young girls and women, we do go through a lot. And a lot of times those hurdles that we, and I like to call them those hurdles and roller coasters that we go through in life, sometimes it takes us off course. And one of the things I wanted to ensure as an entrepreneur is that everything I did as a speaker, TV host, or author, that every single thing that I did, it was geared toward empowering women and girls to know their self-worth and to know that they deserve the best out of life and to never ever settle for anything less, which also tied into me becoming a relationship coach and empowering women from that perspective as well. Did I lose you, Sarah? Did I lose you, Sarah? I think there's probably, as anyone knows, live TV or interviews, there can be some technical issues. I think there's some technical issues we're having right now. I'm unable to see Sarah at this moment. But for any of you that are tuning in, do not get off this call. We have so much more to talk about, and it sounds like Sarah is coming back right now. Sarah, are you there?
It's not Cam.
I think I can hear Sarah coming back, but don't get off the call. We have so much to talk about. I want to thank Sarah for this opportunity and Moms Out Networking Group, Moms Out Marketing and Networking Group for the opportunity to be here and for what Sarah does empowering women herself. We just got Sarah back on the call. Sarah, you there? Can you hear me, Sarah? I saw you for a second. Can you hear me? I'm sure Sarah should be back in a second. We do thank you all so much for being patient and for tuning in for the interview and learning more about me. What I will share, I'll go ahead and elaborate a little bit more about my journey and venture as an entrepreneur. I think that a lot of times as an entrepreneur, we do go through a lot of different hurdles in our life. It could be divorce, it can be finances, it may even be family and friends sometimes trying to tell you that you can't do something. I always say, no matter what you come against in life, continue to push those walls down, continue to push those barriers down, continue to believe in what God placed in your heart. If you don't believe in you, no one else will. Sarah is back. Thank you all for staying and tuning in. I was telling everyone, live TV, technology, things happen, technical issues, but you're back.
You're so gracious. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. And it's really funny that you were talking about, adversities, issues. Yes, we're going to have some things that are going to challenge us. And I was just seeing what I could do in the background to get back up. So thanks everyone for your patience. Let me know if you can hear me if you're on the live, because I know we were having those technical difficulties. But Leslie, so may I ask you another question?
Sure, anything.
Okay, wonderful. Let's go back to your business. And so what are some things you wish you had known before starting your business? Like what would have made you stronger?
I think I wish I had known one of the biggest things is how to put together a business plan. And that was one of the things I had no clue when I started my business. I knew what type of business I wanted. I knew the direction of the business, but I did not know until, I'll be honest with you, maybe 2.5, 3 years into the journey that I needed a business plan. The business plan was here. I thought that was good enough because I can talk it, speak it, walk it, do it like the back of my hand. But when it came to a point when I had my talk show and I needed investors, that was one of the first things they wanted to see. They didn't just want to hear my business plan, they wanted to see it. I had no clue on how to do it. No one ever told me that I needed one. But the good thing is, if that ever happens to you, you never tell an investor, I don't have a business plan. I said, sure, I have one. I stayed up literally 48 hours straight and put together that business plan and taught myself. So one of the biggest things I would recommend to every business owner, if you do not have a business plan, you need to do one immediately. And you also need within that business plan is your 3 to 5 year pro forma. And what that is your 3 to 5 year projection on how much money you think you're going to make, how you think that company is going to grow, because an investor wants to know what is their return on their investment. In order to see that, you have to have that all down on paper within your business plan. And if you don't know how to do it, get someone that does it. I do business plans for people personally, and I can talk to you about that as well. But I also say Google is a great university. There's a great tool. I share that with you, Sarah. Write your business plan, write the vision and make it plain, and then it becomes reality.
Definitely. I love that. And that's such a great tip. Absolutely. And I love the Google University.
I mean, it's a great university. Everything's there 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, and it never shuts down. Well, they do have technical issues sometimes, but for the most part, it's always there.
That and YouTube, and I mean, there's so much knowledge out there, and I think that's something great for people to know. When you're an entrepreneur, if you thirst for information, go out and just find it.
Yeah.
And so many people, I know you mentor people, I mentor people. It is so important to go out. What could you share about mentorship?
One of the first things I would like to say, I think everyone should have a mentor themselves, whether that's a coach that mentors you, or a friend, or a business person who is someone that you look up to that can sow back into your life education and knowledge and wisdom. I think that is essential because it keeps us on track. It's very important to always be accountable with someone, whether, that's what being married is about. That's what going to school is about. Working on a job, we are accountable to our bosses. But also in your business, you always want someone that can sow back into you from a wisdom standpoint and educational standpoint, because you don't know everything. I love being a mentor to someone because I'm able to give them information that they may not need. But I think what's also more important, I'm able to pick them up if they feel like they're going to fall down, or if they feel like they can't do it. It's that mentor that comes in and says, you know what, together I'm going to take you by the hand, and I'm going to instill that knowledge and that information to get you back on track so that you too can flourish. I will say, I think a lot of people are afraid to be mentors because they feel if they give more information to help someone, they may do better than them. My advice and suggestion to everyone, the only way to grow and to continue receiving your blessings is to always reach back and lift someone else up without fear of them doing better than you are. Because we are a community of people. We are a community of people that are supposed to care about people and help other people. And that's exactly how you grow as well. So mentor, if you're not doing it now, find someone that you can mentor and help them build their career and their business.
Absolutely. And that's really how Moms Out Marketing was built. We are a community, and when we grow and learn together, we all get stronger. And exactly. So that's why we bring amazing speakers like you to our networking meetings. So
well, I appreciate that.
For being here. How do you get yourself? Now, this was a question from Kristen Gonzalez, and she wanted to know, how do you get yourself out there to be featured on different shows?
I have a publicist that works with me, and I don't like to say work for me, works with me, that gets me out into the different press, whether it's radio, print, TV. And if you don't have that at your access, if you don't have access to that, one of the things I recommend doing, and I know I talked to Sarah about this last week, we kind of had a sidebar conversation. Mm-hmm. Everyone needs to know how to do their own press release. And Google, again, will help guide you in that area. You need to know how to do a press release. There is a method to it. There's a complete system to press releases. And something very minor that Sarah and I were talking about, some people don't know that at the end of a press release, you may see 3 hashtags at the bottom. That is a necessity. It tells the reader that they're at the end of your press release, and that is a conclusion to all of the information that you're giving them. In order to get out there, number one, you need something of value to talk about. You need to have information that viewers are going to want to know what you're doing. It can't just be anything frivolous. If you have a book, write a press release. If you put it on a show, write a press release. But first and foremost, knowing how to write that. In the very beginning, you need to tell them where's your event, what it is you're talking about, how do they find out more information about it, the date and time. And so that is one of the best ways to get out there is your press release. It's like your resume for a job.
So let me ask you, we're online right now. Should I be doing a press release?
You should be doing a press release.
Okay.
Yes, you should do a press release for every guest that you do. You can do a press release, and you definitely should be doing a press release for your networking group. And every time you're going to air a show, you should do a press release. Absolutely.
Oh, Leslie. Well, as you can see at the bottom of this screen, if you want more information, you can reach out to Leslie O'Hare at www.leslieoharemedia.com, but we still have more from you. So if anybody is in the audience, I do want you to ask those questions so we can be sure to get them answered right here on the call. So right now, I know there are a lot of business owners that are struggling. The pandemic has brought on a new type of challenge that is unique. There's no more, the connectivity is kind of leaving, and that's why we've pivoted. Even with Moms Out Marketing, we're online and we're talking about connecting, and that's one of the reasons we have you on as a speaker. But so this is a two-part question. One, how have you had to deal with any challenges and do major pivots through your business career? And then two, what types of tips could you give our viewers?
Well, one of the things as a speaker, I was having this conversation with someone recently. I think as a public speaker, you don't think that there's ever going to be a time that you're not speaking in front of an audience. And so here is that time. So I have had to pivot. There aren't as many speaking engagements as there normally would be prior to COVID-19. And any speaking engagements that we have now, it's all via Zoom or Skype. It's all virtual. So you're not having that in-person contact any longer. So it transitions and changes everything for you. One of the advice I would give to a business owner, or even people that are working for companies, COVID-19, yes, it is an unfortunate pandemic. It has thrown all of us for a loop. It has affected our lives. It affected our families. It has affected our careers, our companies, our finances. And one of the things I would tell everyone, utilize this opportunity to be able to grow. For those of you that might have lost your job, utilize the opportunity to start your new business. Utilize the opportunity to go back to college. Utilize this opportunity to do something positive to enhance your life. Don't allow the pandemic to take you further down. For entrepreneurs, sit back at the drawing board and find out what is something that you can do with your business to enhance it and to be able to take advantage of the opportunity that you have right now. And I think a lot of times when we go through unfortunate situations, our first reaction is to panic. I say don't panic. The first reaction to do for me is to pray and then revamp, re-strategize my goals, and then explode from there. And that's one of the biggest things that we can do during the pandemic. There's such a huge opportunity in the midst of every single storm. You just have to find it.
Love that. Yes, absolutely. Thank you for those encouraging words, Leslie, because I know a lot of business owners need that. And if you are a business owner catching in on this interview, please tag your business. We'd love to see who's here today, as well as who will be on our networking call. So as you can see at the bottom, Leslie will also be joining us at our networking meetings. That's on October 7th and 21st. So you can find that information below. Leslie, I also would like to hear more just about kind of your everyday practices and really how you can shift that mindset so that you are constantly in this I want to succeed mode. And when I say that, I want to talk a little bit about your journal, because I'm going to tell you, I don't know if I should say this out loud, but I did change one of the words in your book. But I think it's okay because it's a journal, right? Hopefully. Yes. I'll tell you what it is, and then you'll tell me if it's okay.
Okay.
So I'm just going to say, can I just say the mantra that's in here? Is that okay?
Yes. Yes.
Okay. So let me rewind and tell you, I gave myself a gift this month, and that was this journal. And I think it is so important for our mompreneurs to be sure you're investing in you and getting knowledge from other entrepreneurs. We can learn so much from each other. And one thing that Leslie has done so well in this journal is to kind of be, I talk about cheerleading, to be our cheerleader and to kind of learn how to be our own cheerleader. So every day there are mantras in here that are positive, and one of them that I believe I'm only on day 5 because I started on October. Is it every day that I will say I choose to live life? Is that right?
It is, yes.
So I changed a word in there just because this is what I needed. So
Uh-huh.
I said I choose to live life awesomely.
And you know what? That is the purpose of the journal, because I want every woman that reads the journal and writes in it to be able to have that flexibility. And I think that's great, because you should live life awesomely.
Mm-hmm.
And what does that mean to you, Sarah, when you say that?
I mean, we talk about thriving and just living our best life. So I know one of the questions in here when I first started, I got a little stumped, I'll tell you. So I'm one day behind because of this. And the question was in the very beginning, you said I'm okay to read this, right?
Yes, yes.
Okay. All right. I always want to ask an author before
That's
I do
okay.
that. Okay.
You're
It said,
fine.
what is your life's purpose? And at first when I read that, I was like, oh, I can't just jot down anything. So I had to stop and I kind of waited a day to think everything over. Because at first I was like, well, what I ended up writing was to utilize my God-given talents to serve others.
Mhm.
And it's really funny because when I wrote it, I was like, wait, where is it? I was like, oh no, I'm missing a lot. What's going on? What else is supposed to be in there? I'm like, is it that simple? Of course not when I go through the steps, but help me out here, Leslie. Tell me more about your journal. And
I wrote this journal, 30 Days of Living Life, because I think every single day we should live life and we should live our best life. And one of the reasons I put that question in there, what is your life purpose? Because a lot of people don't know their purpose. They really don't know why they're here. But one thing everyone should know, we are all here for a specific reason. And for me, in order to find out what my purpose was, is my connection with God from a little girl. And I do believe that that is the only place to really find out what our purpose truly is here on earth, is building a closer connection with God. And so with that being said, everyone has a purpose. A lot of people will come up to me and say, Leslie, how do I find my purpose? I always say to someone, first of all, have a close relationship with God. Secondly, I do ask a person to go back to when they were a child. And what was that one thing they always said that they wish they could do for the rest of their life? And if whatever that it is something that you can do, whether you got paid or not, more than likely that is your purpose. Not that you want to do it for free, but my point here is, if you could do something for the rest of your life and have that joy and that passion and wake up every day motivated to do it, 9 times out of 10, that's what your passion is. But I think a lot of people are afraid to even realize or take the time to learn what that purpose is, because they are afraid of failure. But every successful person will tell you they didn't wake up one morning and all of a sudden they were successful. They went through a lot of failures, but that failure is to build your stamina, is to push you into success, so that when you get there, you can really appreciate it.
absolutely. I think we grow so much through those challenges, those failures, though it is hard. It is very
It's very
hard.
hard. Yeah, it's very hard. And one of the things in the book that I emphasize a lot, and I'm sure you've gotten to this page already, is a dream board. I think we all should have a dream board. You have to be able to write your vision, make it plain, so that it comes to fruition. One of the things of doing that is putting together pictures and snapshots on a board to really, and I talk about in the book how to do that, so that every single day you're able to see this dream board. It's your dreams. It's what motivates you every day to keep going and pushing forward. And then you're able to put your dream into action and be able to write down actionable strategies that you can quickly implement, put into action quickly, and get moving forward towards your goal. I think everyone should spend no less than 30 minutes to an hour per day on your goal.
Awesome. I love that. So we talked about failures.
I can hear
And
you, Sarah. Say that again.
we talked a little bit about failures.
Yeah.
And so the questions here, I feel a little bit of feedback. Sorry about that. But how do you keep motivated on hard days? Like, like I said, a lot of entrepreneurs are struggling right now. What would you say to them?
For me, it's I start my day with prayer. I think that I'm completely incomplete if I don't do that, because we wake up with we have intentions on having a good day. You never know. But I think you need to wake up every morning with the mindset that this is a fabulous day. It's going to be a great day. And I am going to achieve every success out of this day that I am meant to achieve. And I think if you wake up every day saying to yourself, straight up out of the bed, today is going to be a great day, I'm going to make it a great day, you will have a great day. No matter what comes up against you, you will ensure that that day is great for you. And I mentioned prayer early on because I don't think, for me personally, I can't do anything without God. I don't want to do anything without God. So for me to start and end my day with prayer, it helps me from a mental process to be able to deal with whatever comes my way throughout the daytime.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, that's why I felt like this was so important to share, that I want to live life awesomely,
Yeah,
That's
yeah, yeah. Well, I think it's important because you've already set the stage for yourself that that's how you want to live your life. So now what you're going to do everything in your willpower to ensure that that happens.
absolutely. Thanks, Leslie.
You're
So
welcome.
also and this is something that I know with everything happening online, people are talking about content,
Mhm.
content planners. We do social media planning once a quarter right here on Moms Out Marketing. So you have over 326 presentations. That is a lot, girl. Bravo.
Thank you. Thank you.
So how do you come up with your content?
Whenever a company or organization, whether it's a corporation or a church, whenever they're booking me to speak at a specific event, they always have a theme. And so what I do, I write all of my speeches. I do not have a speech writer. I prefer not to. I believe if I write it myself, I'm able to deliver the message properly and from my heart to the audience. And so based on what their theme is, I customize all of my speeches to meet their theme. And so in doing that, I ensure that everything I talk about is going to be new, fresh, and into the liking of the company or organization that's booking me.
Okay. Well, you also have a book coming out in 2021. Can you tell us more about that?
That particular book is going to be based on my life story, my journey. Some of you know about my journey. For those of you who might have seen some of my videos or may personally see me speak somewhere, I thought it was essential. Everyone is asking me, when are you going to tell your story? When are you going to tell your story in a book form? And so I thought it was essential to do that. We're going to talk about the highs and lows of my life. We're going to talk about not having my dad in my life. He told me at 14 when I met him for the first time that he didn't want to have anything to do with me. We're going to talk about the financial struggles I've had in my life. We're going to talk about, in the book, I'm going to share how I was almost homeless. I'm going to also share my divorce that I've gone through. And so just talk about a lot of the highs and lows, because I think a lot of times people see TV hosts, public speakers, just people who are out in public. They think that we're perfect. A lot of times they think we don't have any issues. And this particular book is about saying, no, I'm human, I'm real. I hurt like you hurt. I have my crying days as well. But I want the book to be able to encourage people that no matter how many times you're rejected, no matter how many times you go through the storms in life, you will always come out on top, stronger and better than ever before, as long as you do not allow those storms to take you under. And that's the premise of the book, pretty much.
That's awesome. Thank you.
You're welcome.
So, Leslie, I know that you will be speaking on storytelling this month at our networking group, and the event information is right here at the bottom of the screen. So, why do you feel storytelling is so important to a business owner? Why do we need to know this? Why should they attend this month?
Well, I think it's essential to know how to tell your story, because if you don't know your story or you don't know how to tell it, no one's going to listen to you. And we always need to be heard. We want someone to listen because that's how we get people to build a rapport with one another. And how to tell your story is essential. I tell everyone you need to know your 30-second commercial. Within 30 seconds or less, which I call an elevator speech. Imagine being in the elevator. You're only in there for about a couple of seconds. If someone says to you, tell me about yourself, you need to be able to tell them about yourself, or tell me about your company. You need to be able to tell them about yourself and your company in less than 30 seconds, to the point that they are so excited that you leave them thirsting, wanting to know you better, wanting to do business with you. And who knows, you never know, that a person in the elevator could be an investor. Letting them leave there knowing that they want to get in contact with you and invest in you. Your story is impactful, it's compelling, and it's essential to do that, to build rapport and build relationships.
Awesome. That is so great. I have to tell you a funny story. Can you hear me okay? Or is there
I
an
can.
echo?
I can.
Okay, wonderful. So when I first walked into a networking meeting, and they were talking about this elevator pitch, and they were saying, hey, you know, you need to know your 30-second commercial. I promise you, I'm a visual person. So I thought in my mind, okay, I'm pressing the button on an elevator. I have 30 seconds. And I thought the whole idea of an elevator pitch was literally me riding in an elevator. And I'm thinking, why am I trying to sell to someone in an elevator? Okay, fast forward now again. We do 30-second commercial.
But I can tell you, though, the reason for that, I have closed 3 deals in my life in an elevator by happenstance, meeting someone, because I will talk to anyone, and talking to them. They literally asked me, what did I do? At the time I had my television show, I told them what my show was about, who I was, and that I was looking for investors. And 3 people at 3 different times on an elevator invested in my talk show years ago. So literally, it happens. You never know, but you got to always be prepared and on point, and you got to know how to tell that story. So you
That's
can
awesome.
close deals in an elevator.
So, all right. So the elevator pitch can be used in an elevator, in a networking meeting, wherever you are. There you go.
Wherever you are, yes. And here's the key, Sarah, always be prepared.
Yes, absolutely. And so that means make sure you work on your 30-second commercial, because Leslie's going to be listening in on our networking call. So, yeah. Leslie, it's been great. Thank you. I want you to tell us I know you have some amazing things and specials for our mompreneurs. So can you share more about that?
I do. From a relationship coach perspective, one of the perks that I'm giving your audience and members is a personal one-on-one coaching session with me. And the reason why I decided to do this is because I get inundated with emails and calls constantly from women asking how to date during COVID-19. COVID-19 has changed our lives in so many ways that we can't even imagine, even from a dating perspective. It has put a lot of fear, rightfully so, because you just can't go out and just meet someone and sit at a restaurant and have dinner with them without knowing what their status is on a health side. And so I really want to help women not to feel lonely. I have women crying. I can hear the crying just from their letters that they write to me or phone calls that I get. They're feeling lonely. They're feeling alone. They feel that they will never, ever find Mr. Right in their life. And so, and it's not just women, it's also men feeling this at the same time. And so I am offering $35 per hour just to your members till November 1st. After that, I go back up to my normal rate per hour. But I wanted to offer that to the ladies in your group for private relationship coaching sessions. And the best way to reach me is via my website, leslieohairemedia.com.
Awesome. And we have that link available again right there on the bottom of the screen. Leslie, is there anything else you want to share with us? I know you have a podcast coming up.
I do. I have the Let's Connect Live with Leslie O'Hare podcast coming up very soon. And it's not going to be a traditional talk show. It's really a conversation show. I'm going to have people of interest in the news. I'm going to have influencers, celebrities, also politicians, with this being an election year, on the show. And I really wanted this show to be a conversation show where we can connect. We're talking about, Sarah, building relationships and telling our story. This is what Let's Connect is all about. It's about building a connection with my guests as well as with my audience so that we can become empowered, inspired, educated, so we can move forward into our rightful purpose in our life. And it's also going to be a fun, exciting show. I am so excited to launch this podcast. I can't hear you, Sarah. I can't hear you.
Fabulous. Thank you so much, Leslie. It has been a pleasure, just getting to know you on these calls. I can't wait for our networking meeting. That is October 7th and 21st. You can grab your tickets on the momnetwork.square.site. Now, I will tell you, all entrepreneurs are welcome. So that's why we even made this show called Behind the Scenes with a Preneur. We have dadpreneurs, entrepreneurs, solopreneurs. Wherever you're at, maybe you have an idea. Wherever you're at, we want you on the call. It's so important, just like what Leslie said, to have that mentorship, to have someone there to help bring you, build you. And that is the basis of what Moms Out Marketing is about. So I hope that you take action and join us. I also hope that you go out and grab Leslie's journal and do it with me. This has been fun. I'll tell you, journaling is, everybody says to do it. And it's not naturally my jam, it's not so, but this has been so self-discovery.
Awesome.
So I really appreciate it. And I really love that it involves God. So, because that's a huge part. And that is, I was just sharing with someone today about the Moms Out Marketing Journal. I mean, I prayed for this community, and that's what makes it who it is today. So, to bring that part into it is means a lot.
Yeah.
So, well, thank you, Leslie. We will see you so soon.
You're so welcome, Sarah. I would also like to add this, if I could add one point, for your audience to follow me on Instagram. They can also like me on Facebook and also send me a friend request on Facebook to keep up with all the things that I'm doing. And I really want to take this moment to encourage everyone to go out and vote on November 3rd. This is a huge opportunity for you to allow your voice to be heard. And I always say, if you don't vote, then don't complain. You have an opportunity to make a difference. Go out on November 3rd, make a difference, and vote 2020. November 3rd, 2020.
Can we vote for you?
Leslie O'Hare is running for president. Wouldn't that be something? Thank you, Sarah. I'll make you my VP.
All right, sounds good. I know a great PR firm, Leslie O'Hare Media. All right, we will see you on Wednesday. It's coming up 2 days. Thanks again for joining. All right, everyone. Well, thank you so much for tuning in. Behind the scenes of entrepreneurship is so important because Rome was not built in a day. Your business is not built in a day. And I will tell you, even when you think your business is built, you will evolve. You'll become stronger as long as you are learning more. And that is what Moms Out Marketing is here for. So take action, learn more. We are learning about storytelling this Wednesday, 9:30 on Zoom. No excuses. Grab the tickets. If the kids are in the background, look, I have one in the background too. Woohoo! And she just woke up from a nap, so she's got some nap hair. But that is life, and we're embracing life wherever you're at, and we want to help you on your journey. So please do grab your tickets. Let us know in the comments if you have. If you have any questions for myself or Leslie, please write them in and let us know how you enjoyed the show, because this is our first one ever, and we plan to have another one on November 2nd where we will be talking about YouTube. All right, so we are learning and growing together. I hope you have a blessed day, and I will see you on Wednesday.